Go ahead.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Do you have your green button on?
Yes. All
Perfect.
right.
Thank you.
My name is Celeste, and I'm speaking in opposition to the bills. At the start of 2021, in my junior year of high school, I crossed the threshold from overweight to obese. I had hardly left my house since the pandemic started, but that lit a fire in me, and I started jogging a mile every day. And after a few months, I could do the whole thing in one go, and a month after that, I decided to join my school's track team. I showed up to every single practice and meet that season and gave it my all in all of them. And I had a lot to show for it. I was still overweight, but I was healthy. I could run, and I was actually interacting with my peers for the first time in almost half a year. I also got dead last in every race and practice. And it was during the pandemic, the boys and girls teams were mixed up since there were so few people. The freshman girls, some of which weren't even trying, easily outraced me. And then, but still, I was really proud of myself. I had done something that I considered a great achievement, and you could not get me to shut up about it for the entire year afterwards. But that winter, I started transitioning, and male to female. I did as much as I could towards that end. I changed my name, pronouns, dressed more femininely, saw a therapist for gender dysphoria, and started hormone replacement therapy around the time that my senior year's track season started up. And I was terrified of getting back into track. I did a lot of research into the organization that the team worked through and state law, and I found the last round of anti-trans bills. I saw so many of our representatives decrying me as a risk to teammates and competitors that was my best indication of the general mood around trans athletes, and that really scared me. I knew that meets would be held further out of town in rural areas where there were substantially more Republicans and right-wing people, and I was convinced that if I ran in those areas, or if the people from those areas ran in my city, that I could be at risk of being assaulted or shot. That some parent would take what they've heard on the news about the trans kids being predators in women's locker rooms, or cheating in sports with unfair advantages, and just take matters into their own hands. And the league I was running in had hormone level restrictions for the varsity level. I was not a top athlete. I was in junior varsity in my senior year, but I would have been able to compete, but I worked out with the coaches and my parents in the school that I would just participate in the practices. But I would not be running in the meets or showing up to them because I feared for my safety. But despite the track meant so much for me. It had almost turned my life around. I was more sociable. I was communicating again out of the pandemic when I hadn't for so long. And I was determined to see it through. And I did not encounter any trouble. I did not have anyone file complaints against me, complain about my involvement or inclusion, and folks were lovely. But these kinds of bills give horrible messaging to parents and athletes. I am currently enrolled at Madison College, and I plan to transfer to UW-Madison, so affected by all the bills. Both of these institutions have very strict restrictions on hormone levels. I would need to be at what the organization defines as a normal hormone level for a full year, which, as you have heard, with the 15 nanomoles per liter, I believe was quoted, 10 months on HRT, I hit 8 nanomoles per liter, which was within the range, and I'm almost to the point of being a year at that level, but small interjection, but I would like to mention that several Olympic athletes, cisgender women, at the top levels were taken out of their sport for having too high of testosterone levels. Cis women who just, with the new restrictions, their natural bodies were outside the ranges that were acceptable. But yeah, the sports organizations already have systems to determine if athletes are fit to compete that factor in the level of competitiveness, age, the sport they're playing. And the bills proposed are grossly simplistic. They don't take any of this into account. All they serve is to harass and dehumanize some of the most vulnerable citizens of our state. And I hope I don't have to say that trans women can be biologically female. Surgeries exist that can change your sex, and the bill just does not account for that. I have updated my legal sex on every government document except for my birth certificate, as I was born in Tennessee and moved here soon after. And Tennessee recently made a law that makes it illegal to change the gender marker on a birth certificate. Under the current law, despite anything I may do, any amount of hormones, surgeries, level of competitiveness, I would not be able to participate in any female sports. And as a final note, I think it's really messed up that you would hold a session that deals with university students during finals week. I know several people who had to skip out on attending and speaking today because they had finals at this time or had to study for them at this time. Thank you. I welcome any questions.
Thank you. And I'll apologize. I didn't realize it was finals week for the scheduling, so I'll take the blame, and I apologize for that. I did not even know or even consider that, so that's on me. I'll take the rap on that. So do you, with the hormone levels that you're at now, do you plan on participating when you in the colleges that you're attending now?
I plan on participating in UW. I was mildly surprised when I entered Madison College that they did not have a track team. So I've been playing on the only non-gendered sports team, which is esports, surprisingly. I play Super Smash Bros. Brawl competitively. Sorry, Super Smash Bros. The new one.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Any questions from the committee? Senator Carpenter, go ahead.
Very quick. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for being so kind. You told us how the experience has really helped you. Could you tell us, when you were in with a group with track, how did other people react when you first went there? Were you probably one of the first people that they met that were transgender? And do you think it helped build cohesive as a team, that someone got to meet someone, get to know them, work together as a team? Is that a positive aspect of allowing transgender people in sports?
Something that surprised me throughout my entire experiences. A lot of people just, I'm pretty sure they didn't not notice, but I had very few people mention that anything had changed. Mm-hmm. I would like to hope so, but I haven't had anyone come up to me personally and say anything about it.
Great. Thank you for testifying. Good luck on your midterms.
Thank you. I've got to run for one right now, actually. So,
Thank you, Celeste. Next up, we have Amy Wall speaking against.